Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall, the fight that we've been wanting to see for a long time. Will the fight finally happen? I mean, there is a massive update that indicates some positivity for this fight happening. Joe Rogan came out dropping some massive rumors about the fight, and we're gonna break all that down and see if Jon Jones finally stops being a duck. I mean, let's be honest, guys, he's been ducking Tom Aspinall for a minute now. We're also gonna talk about more news in the MMA world, and welcome to JackMMA. Conor McGregor once again speaks out about the potential fight he has with Logan Paul in India. We've covered this thing time and time again. This has been the story of, like, I don't know what. We've talked about this over and over, time and time again, that, yeah, I do think this fight is going to happen at some stage. Conor McGregor, of course, started out tweeting out about the fight, started the rumors. Logan Paul even responded, you know, saying that he was down. And it seemed like the Albani family is trying to pay Conor McGregor and Logan Paul a lot of money, potentially $250 million to fight. While Conor McGregor tweeted out a picture of Logan Paul saying $250 million with an Indian flag right next to it, which is alluding to the fact that, of course, we've heard that this fight could potentially be actually happening in India. He also retweeted someone saying easy work in the comment section. So this is all just Conor McGregor, you know, adding fuel to the fire, and it's a smart tactic. Conor McGregor is openly negotiating with India through the internet right now. The fact that this $250 million figure is out there right now, that is huge for Conor McGregor and Logan Paul, because that sets a new expectations for their negotiations. So they could wind up getting paid a lot more than maybe they originally were, because as I've discussed, I do think this $250 million thing is fake news. I talked about it in a past video, but I think by the time UFC 311 hits, we're going to get some big news, because Dana White is going to be out promoting UFC 311, and I am sure 1000% he is going to have to make some sort of comment on it. Does he outright deny it? Does he say, hey, we're in the works, we're talking? I don't know. That is what I am most curious about, and we're going to find that out soon. Gervonta Davis also showed off his new hairstyle, guys. Here it is. All right, guys, I'll be for real. This is really his hairstyle, and what is going on with Gervonta Davis, man? The guy is about to retire from boxing. Like, what would possess this guy to get this kind of hair? Like, what? Like, he looks like a girl for real right now. Khabib also started a new world war with Ireland and Russia, guys. You guys got to hear this. Khabib came out in an interview discussing Irish MMA, just basically shitting on Ireland. Here's what Khabib had to say.
Ireland don't have fighters, but let's be honest. How many fighters do you know from Ireland? Paul Hughes and Conor, and who else? There is no fighter, but you can Dagestan. You can understand. At Ireland level, not even half of Dagestan level.
Now, this is ahead of the Paul Hughes versus Usman Nurmagomedov fight. Paul Hughes is Irish himself, and he's going to be fighting Usman Nurmagomedov, who is related to Khabib, who is from Dagestan. So Paul Hughes retweeted this saying, Conor made you famous, and also tweeted out a picture of an article saying Dagestan #1 at juicing. And here's the picture of the article of Usman Nurmagomedov a couple months ago getting tested positive for a prohibited substance and having to be suspended for like 6 months or something like that. Now, I don't like to comment on steroid allegations. I don't like to say, oh, I think this person's on steroids, just because I don't want to like ruin someone's life if they're actually a clean fighter. But we've talked about this in the past. There's been a lot of concerns and things like that, and there has been suggested outright from other fighters legitimate suspicion to these juicing rumors, right? And that's all I'm gonna say. It could be false, could be real, and I'm only going this far because they disrespected my country of Ireland, guys. I'm like 80% Irish here. Colby Covington also did an interview with Submission Radio. I suggest you guys check it out. But Colby says that he's legitimately thinking of moving up to middleweight, and says, hey, he might be down to fight Sean Strickland.
85 is intriguing. I think it would be kind of cool to go up there with the narrative like, oh, this guy's a small 70. He's going to go up to 85 and take on an even bigger challenge. So there is a possibility. You know, I'm always looking for the biggest and best fights. So we'll see. I'm not sure. We'll see what's on the table, who's hot at the time, and you know, I'm just always looking for the biggest and best fights. So where it doesn't matter any weight class. The Sean Strickland fight's always interesting. You know, he's had his things to say about me in the past. I don't think he's anything special. He's got a jab, he's got a front kick, but besides that, you know, you shut those weapons down, and he's very limited. So, you know, he's a cardio fighter. He's just a cardio kickboxer essentially. So, you know, I don't see any threats out of Sean Strickland, and it's an entertaining fight that I might entertain in the future. We'll see.
Now, Colby is pretty small. Like, I don't think he should probably go to middleweight, especially with how his career has been so far. He's been struggling to take down a lot of guys, and I don't think that he would beat Strickland. I actually think Strickland would probably beat him. I don't think he'll be able to take him down. We've heard Strickland has good wrestling, but maybe that is the best stylistic matchup for him, because think about Dricus du Plessis, think about Israel Adesanya. All those guys would beat Colby Covington. The size disadvantage for Colby is just too big, honestly. So I don't think it's a smart move. I think you should stay at 170. Try to get an Ian Gary fight. I think you should try to angle for that one. I think that's like the best stylistic matchup for him out there, but I still think he loses to Ian. Luke Rockhold and Michael Bisping appeared on the Jackson podcast about 10 years after their last fight and after their rivalry, and things got a little bit weird in the podcast. Take a look.
To fight Bisping these days, because you get in the stare down and you You really wouldn't know what the fuck he's thinking.
Oh my God, dude. Hey, don't start that. Me and Bisping, we still brothers, man. Don't start that.
I don't need your help. I've knocked him out once before. I can do it again.
Hey.
Now, even though it does seem like these two have squashed the beef, I'm sure that these two kind of aren't so happy with each other because of the trash talk that took place even after the fight. Let me know what you guys thought about this interaction in the comment section below. And finally, Tom Aspinall, Jon Jones, the saga that we have been talking about for about a year and a half at this point, it feels like. We still don't know. Is Jon Jones coming back? Is he retiring? He puts out weird tweets acting like he's retiring. But then we have Dana White coming out saying, no, Jon Jones is down to fight Tom Aspinall, and he's 100% confident that fight is going to happen.
Would you guarantee 100% we see that fight?
Yeah. I'll say 100%.
We've heard that Jon Jones wants a lot of money, but Joe Rogan just added some insight on potentially how much money this is, because Joe Rogan went on his podcast and was talking about the fight potentially happening. And he says Jon Jones wants $30 million. And not only that, apparently the UFC is willing to pay this.
Peoria or Aspinall?
Aspinall.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Aspinall. I think they're trying to come to some sort of an agreement. The rumor is that he wants $30 million, and that the UFC is going to pay it.
Now, this potentially could be one of the biggest payouts the UFC has ever done. If your name is not Conor McGregor, I'm not sure how much he gets paid. But yeah, this is probably the biggest payout they've ever done. And it is a huge fight. Like, I do think that this is a huge investment I've talked about before, because if Tom Aspinall beats Jon Jones, they have a new star. And they also add a new level of excitement to UK MMA. Like, all of the UK is going to be into MMA a lot more if Tom Aspinall wins. I think the move should be do this fight in the UK. Do this at Wembley Stadium. This fight could fill up a stadium. That would just add so much more excitement to the fight. I don't think Jon Jones would be down for that, though. Jon Jones is very particular on where he fights, how he fights, and the rules, so I do not think that they're going to get it done. But the question is, can Jon Jones win? Can he legitimately beat a guy like Tom Aspinall? And I don't think so. I'd be surprised. There's a method of victory. Yes, Jon Jones, I think potentially he could out-volume Tom Aspinall, outstrike him like he kind of did with Stipe, be the faster guy. But I think Tom Aspinall is fast himself, and he has slick boxing. He has great power. I mean, he's finished so many guys early. I think maybe the game plan from Jones should be to try to take him down early, get some control, tire out Tom Aspinall, and then maybe get him into round 2, get him into round 3. We haven't really seen him in the later rounds, but Tom Aspinall is just too good. He's too used to being a heavyweight. He's fought heavyweights his whole life, trained with heavyweights his whole life. He's going to be stronger, and I've seen a lot of people say this doesn't do a lot for Jon Jones's legacy. Well, that's not true, because look, maybe Tom Aspinall goes on to continue winning and becomes one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. If Jon Jones has that name on his resume, that is an all-time name, right? That is a name that you're going to keep even when you retire in 10 years. People are going to say, wow, Jon Jones beat that guy. Look at Canelo and Floyd Mayweather. That is the best example of it. Floyd took a risk in fighting Canelo, especially early, and beat Canelo, who was a little bit less experienced, and it was an easier fight, and he has a name on his legacy now and can say, yeah, I beat Canelo Alvarez. And every time Canelo has a great performance, we're reminded, yeah, Floyd Mayweather beat that guy. And this was my most anticipated fight last year, and it's my most anticipated fight this year. I hope the fight actually does happen. But in my UFC bold predictions for 2025 video, I talked about if I thought this fight was going to happen. That video is on the screen now. Thank you guys for watching. You guys are the best fan-based MMA. Hit the subscribe button, like, comment, and share, and I'll see you guys in the next one.